Hello, hello, hello. Or should I say, ho, ho, ho?
That's
We're
enough about
officially
her.
hoes. Bunch of hoes. We're officially in the Christmas month. So it's a bit safer to be talking about Christmas things. My mum was down there for Christmas Sunday dinner. And she's talking about getting the tree out the loft. She went, well, officially, 12 days before, 12 days after, which means takes you to about January the 5th. It's got to be down by then. I was like, all right. So I was telling Mark about your rule, and she started laughing. She said, what did he say? I said, well, it's tradition, isn't it? And then we spoke about, I told him about November the 16th. You know, Heart Radio have been playing music since then. What? What's that about? I went 6 weeks, and my dad just looked at us and went, 6 weeks? I'm exactly 6 weeks of Christmas music. He said, aye. They listen to greatest hits.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was.
It was what?
No, it's funny because obviously the fact that they're playing the songs earlier, I heard a stat from Mariah Carey. You know her Christmas song. Since she produced that song, she's made $60 million in royalties. Well, that must be just getting bigger and bigger because they're starting Christmas earlier. $60 million.
There is 60 off one song.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
We're in the wrong trade.
We are. That's what Robin keeps saying to us. We're in the wrong trade.
So today, Christmas traditions, one of which hasn't been on it for the past couple of years, because my mum usually does this, but we haven't done it for the past couple of years. Here, look, I've got my Batman advent calendar, and because she's only given us it today, I've got the little puzzle and that on the back, with all of the other guff about it not including nuts. And remember to brush your teeth. On the back, it's not safe. Look, it's not safe. So it either means it's safe for your nuts, or it doesn't have nuts in it. Either's good. So she went, well, I forgot to give you this. I've had it a couple of weeks. I forgot to give you this, but it means you've got 3 doors to open when you get home. I went, aye, that'll do. When was the last time you had one?
Well, it's funny that it's a nice. Well, so Anita nearly fell over this week because I presented her with an advent calendar, and I've never done it in our 25 years.
Never.
Never. I just saw them and I thought, oh, that'll be nice. So I got one for her and one for me. And then Friday morning, she's got a Malteser one, and I've got a Galaxy because she doesn't like Galaxy, so I know she won't eat mine.
Strategy.
Yep. And so each day since then we've woken. And she said to Robin, she said, "You'll never guess what? 25 years. Your dad has bought me an advent calendar." And Robin went, "And why hasn't he bought me one?"
Aye. We've started an argument.
That's it. So yeah, I did the good thing and suffered for it.
Aye. Well, don't we always? I was itching to open one of these. See what the pictures are behind.
It'd be interesting. What sort of chocolate brand is it?
Kinnerton. Kinnerton. Not safe promise. Do you know? I don't know if it's. Is it wrong that sometimes I wish the numbers were just in order? You know, you just start at the top and go to the bottom. Is that wrong? Is that
well? It would sort of make sense. I don't know, why are they random?
I don't know. Is it something to do with just? Is it part of the surprise or something? Here we go. I don't know what that is. Is that a reindeer?
And it would make sense that if you put them in order, because then some cheeky sod who tries. Have you ever done that years and years ago when we used to get them? I'm sure the kids or whatnot. Yeah.
You don't know which one's been open.
No, it'd be forgot, and then the kids have deliberately tried to open the side of it just so the popped it in and looked like, and you go, oh, there must have been one missing, you know.
Or you pop it out and it falls to the bottom.
Well,
You
here,
open one of them other doors.
I don't think she watches the episode, so I'd probably get away with this one. But you know, like in the lead up to Christmas, is tradition, isn't it? Tradition. We'll buy a couple of boxes of chocolates, don't we? Keep them for Christmas. Keep them for Christmas. Yeah.
Aye. Keep
So
for
we bought a box of celebrations. Yeah. And I would say
a box of
she bought them.
celebrations.
Let's say October. And then I would go early November. I did a little bit of a recce mission, and I went and checked, and the seal was still on them. And I went, highly impressive, Seal still on them. And then Friday night she was at a Christmas do, and for some reason I got this bit of urge for a bit of chocolate,
Aye.
and she was out, and I thought, I wonder, and I went. Honestly, it was an annihilation. The box was an annihilation, and to the point.
It had already been annihilated. But
Already
it
been
was closed.
annihilated. To the point where I actually wrote on a post-it note, naughty girl, put it in the box, took a picture of it and sent it to our Christmas do.
Nice.
And I said to her, I wrote on the message that I sent to her, I said, right, because of that, I'm going to annihilate the rest of them. She come back the next day and she opened the box to get one. She went, what's happened to these? And I went, I told you what I was going to do.
You got a cheek. What's
I
happened
know.
with these? Well,
Yeah. They weren't that bad.
Aye. Yeah, look.
Yeah. So, that.
Gingerbread
What is it?
man.
A little gingerbread man. What's that got to do with Batman?
I don't know. The last one was it had the shape of a reindeer, but I could have sworn it was a human face.
Yeah.
I suppose there's only so much you can do with these little chocolate moulds.
That's what I said to Anita when we're talking about the weather in the morning. Reindeer.
Oh, damn. I keep setting these up, don't I? They've got pictures on the doors.
We're saving
though.
that for a couple of weeks, aren't we? We're going to have a Christmas joke episode.
Yes. It's got a picture of Batman on the door. Joker's on the other one. 23 days to go. I'm not one of these people that likes to count it down. Stopped being fun ages ago. I did prepare some cracker jokes, but I'll keep them.
Yeah, let's keep them.
I'll keep them. There's a couple of corkers in there that
Yeah.
I had a bit of a giggle at, aye. So I'll keep them. So, Christmas traditions, though, aside from the old Advent calendar, which, I don't know, it still puts a bit of a smile on my face. One of them kids' things. Is, do you have... I think we've probably covered this in an early episode somewhere. Do you have a thing you do every year? Like, when you were a kid, did you ever just get up at daft o'clock in the morning, pile down the stairs and rip everything up? Or did you have a more structured kind of approach to...
Oh, it was definitely a structured approach. We weren't allowed out of bed. I mean, most mornings we would be allowed just out of bed when we were old enough. But on this particular morning, it was we were under strict instructions not to get up until we were told. And that was obviously behind the scenes. There's a little bit of preparation to finish off. Make a cup of tea, get a bit of toast made, get mum and dad, get things settled. And then it would be a case of, right, now you can get up, the three of you. And then we're allowed downstairs to, ta-da!
Aye.
And then of course, we'll come on to that. But it's not a case of ripping everything open. That's not allowed.
What?
No.
I'd be tired to just hide a bin bag in the middle of the room.
Still isn't now. I'm 56 and I still have the same way of doing it that I've passed on through generations.
Nah. It's times when... Was it 6:15 in the morning? We'd be in... Mom, can we get up? What
It's
time
interesting.
is it?
Yeah, go on. Because we were just talking about the seeing other people's perspective on things and how some of the younger generation find it difficult to see other perspective. But when I look at the way you do it now, it would actually make sense because take like this Christmas, my dad's coming. Now my dad doesn't do presents. Now, how do you do that structured way of opening things when somebody hasn't really got anything to open? You can't really do it, can you? So having that chaos where I just rip everything open, that actually works.
It was part of the fun for my mum, at least. Was we'd each have like either a corner of the sofa or the chair, and then my dad's socks and Brute and his high karate and whatnot would be on on the chair on his chair, you know, because dads always have the same chair. I'd be on his chair. He wouldn't be up till about 10:30, but my mum would get up. We're already tearing things to bits. She'd make cups of tea, bacon sandwiches, and bring them through. Meanwhile, there's just a bin bag in the middle of the floor when my dad gets up, because we just made a mess. My mum tries to sort of pile everything into one place, and we'd have either that or it'd be one of the big Santa bags or something, you know, plastic bags, and just start putting all the paper in. It'd just be arguing it all out. We'd try and be nice about it and put it in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be part of the fun. Now, my mum had been up since, I think she'd only gone to bed like midnight, 1 a.m, whatever, wrapping everything up. But it seemed to be part of the thing for her, was just seeing us go through it like a whirlwind. And of course you do your stocking fillers first, all your little bits, pieces, and keep all your big ones for last. And which I wonder if that's going to be that thing. Or it's going to be that thing. And then, you know, and then you might... I mean, there was some nights on... if some stuff had already been wrapped up and Dad was out at the club, Mum was in the bath, and we just sat downstairs, and she liked putting everything under the tree. You'd just be rattling it and sort of scratching away a little bit of the corner of the paper. Say, oh look, that bit's come away. And you'd look and see if you could guess what it is from the colour of the box that you could see. You know, try and
Did you have a? Remember when we were kids, really young, we didn't really have a concept of time. So like you'd go to bed, because I'd be, you know, we'd have to be in bed by 7, let's just say, and of course, going to bed so early, you'd wake up at midnight and you go, has he been yet? You know, and they're still up downstairs, as you said, your mum and dad were downstairs. So the fact that you see the lights on, you would get up and you would like, right, can we come down now? Because has he been? And of course, you know, no, we need to go back to bed. And then of course you can get back to sleep because, you know, it's like, you know, that it's like the longest night ever.
Oh, aye. Absolutely. Trying to get to sleep that night was just... Nah, I mean, my older brother hasn't carried that on with his kids. They're not allowed to get up. They've got a stocking they're allowed to open at the foot of their bed.
Yeah.
And then he comes and gets them. And then they can go and open their main presents downstairs. Main presents. And there is one thing. Your mum left a whole bunch of comments on the different Christmas posts that we've done. She's been on a catch up. And she made some really interesting points, and I've replied to them all. And she was talking about how Christmas these days is about what she wants to do, which is why she goes on holiday.
Yeah.
It's less about the presents and all that. And she got me thinking about how, you know, it's about the presents rather than the giving. And I made a couple of comments and said, well, maybe it would be better if, you know, say for example you're a tradesman and someone says, look, I just need this thing fixing but I can't afford it, so you did that for them for Christmas. You did an exchange of stuff like that for Christmas, things that you can do but he can't and all of that, rather than it being about presents. And that led me to thinking, what about these charities? You know, there's these charities that do presents for so and so, right? And you can buy a present, wrap it up, and drop it off, and then they'll give it to some family or other. And I made the proposition or comment on your mum's post that it's got me really thinking about what these charities mean. That well, we've got to make we're making sure these people who can't afford presents get presents. Because their comment was that there are some people out there that get themselves into debt just so little Johnny can have his whatever it is, the latest console or what have you. Flog themselves to death for something that, I mean, it shouldn't be about the presents. I'm like, well, then that leads you to them charities then, doesn't it? That they're making it about the presents. I said, oh, we've got to make sure everybody gets one. But then you're saying that Christmas is just about presents then? If we're making sure that everyone these people can't afford one. But if your charity didn't exist, I mean, and they're not used to having them, maybe they're feeling bad they don't have one just because everyone else is getting one, rather than. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it a?
Yeah, I think
is it a thing that we have made up?
Yeah, it's like
a culture, like saying, "Oh well, got to make sure everyone gets one." So do we?
Warrington Food Bank.
Change what it means?
We're collecting yesterday at Tesco, and I dropped 6 tins of beans on, as you do. But if you think about where there is no line on where you should or shouldn't utilise a food bank, because I think there are people that are desperately need these food banks and these presents, and then there are other people that see an opportunity to give, buy the iPhone 15 for little Johnny, but then use the food bank to top up what they've spent on iPhone 15.
Oh, don't say that to me, ma'am.
Yeah,
she's like, I've seen them walking in there with their trainers and their phones. I've seen them. I'm like, ma'am, you don't know what else is going on behind the scenes there. She went, well, I've seen them standing outside with their Marlboros and their trainers on their iPhone. I'm like, well,
but there is no line, isn't there? There's no line.
Well,
the people that create these organisations are there to try and keep some sort of loose policy around it. If you've got somebody that's living in a 6-bedroom detached and got a Porsche outside, have they got disposable cash? Well, maybe not, but they could sell the Porsche and get some money, and I sort of see what you mean, but it goes down a whoopee can of worms, doesn't it?
Well, you cannot judge entirely on appearance, right? And although is it the Trussell Trust that does a lot of this stuff, and they were found to be fudging some of the numbers that to make the problem sound larger than it is. They were counting the people that they've helped in the average size of each family, so that helped 5 people rather than 1.
How many in your family?
Yeah, so they made the problem. These are all the people. Look at how many people are going to food banks. It's 15. It was 3.
Yeah.
It's 15. It was 3. 3 people went to the food banks. Making assumptions about numbers, but it just led me down the path where you can make a number mean anything you like. You can interpret it any way you want. So I don't really trust them, but it's more about foot traffic, isn't it?
One of your other big traditions. You like to go to midnight mass each year, don't you?
Do I shite? I'd probably burst into flames being one of the world's biggest atheists.
I went once, with my nana and probably my mother. Down to, I think we went down the road towards, can't remember the church at the bottom of New York. And it was, how shall I say, did it once, won't do it again. It was more about, again, you get into it, it's more about the journey and the anticipation of going and what it meant. And when you actually there, it's like, okay.
See, I've worked with people. I mean, mainly they were younger than me, and they were a bit more studenty, Jeremy Corbyn types back then. Well, that's before we all realised he was a bit racist. I voted for him at one point. I don't know how I got talked into that, but one of my deep regrets. And they they go every year. So why'd you go? She said, well, it's just one of them, isn't it? So, right. And we'll have a smoke before we go. That's right. Right. So you're on the weed before... Yeah, well, it's a good laugh. We stand at the back. Right. That adds a different slant on it. So we'll go every year. It's just one of them traditions, something that started in university.
Yeah.
Whether it was a smirky, giggly thing or what have you, like, isn't this? We're going along, smashed, going to midnight mass.
I wonder how many...
I've never been.
I wonder how many kids now, if you would ask them the meaning of Christmas, whether it's about Father Christmas or whether it's about Jesus, which one would they pick? And I think most kids these days would say the meaning of Christmas is about Father Christmas. They wouldn't say it was, to denote the birth of Christ. Yeah.
No, and I think a large part of the country is secular, right? Like Christianity's not.
Well, it's not. It's yeah.
As much as they keep saying on the news, and if we had more religion in this country, I was like, religion's killed how many people? Across the course of history, it's caused how many problems? It's still causing problems. Or organised religion is, rather. I'm not sure if it solves more problems than it causes, but... Yeah, well, we don't really have... I mean, do we still have Sunday schools in that? Teaching that story? I mean, do we still... There's some schools try to have this non-religious...
Most kids I know don't go to school Monday to Friday, never mind Sunday.
Well, and even then, it's maybe 1 till 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Monk Seton High School had all sorts of trials on start times to see if it made a difference to the kids' ability to hold their attention and whatnot. Starting, it was something like was it 10 o'clock or something like that? I don't know, but there's no Sunday schools. There's no even some of the things. Some of these tried not to offend people style nativity plays that they've been putting on. I mean, have you seen the plight of some of them, where they change names, they add in things that wasn't there. They try not to include certain hymns in it or carols. And, why? Just don't do it then.
No.
Do someone else.
Yeah.
Do someone else. Do a different Christmas play.
Do a pantomime.
Have the kids make something up, or do you know what I mean? Just don't butcher the hell out of it to sort of try and do it, so you're sort of catering to some, but you're also catering to a whole bunch of other things. It's like, we've got to include all these other religious symbols, and dear, you could just not do it. So I think pantomime was a big thing back in the day. I remember your mum always used to tell us.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, yes, it was. Oh, look. He's behind you.
Oh.
So
that's definitely the bloke dressed up in a woman's costume then.
Aye, now we said about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big thing.
I'll just slap me thigh.
Aye. Your mum used to get a couple of boxes of matchmakers. Take us along to see Peter Pan or Summit.
Cinderella.
Cinderella, that was it.
Yeah.
One of them. And it was just... I think I don't know if it's just age, but I feel like a lot of that stuff's just gradually fallen away. Like, we didn't make a decision to not go to Phoenix Window or to not go to a pantomime or not go to this, that and the other. It was just... at some point, we just weren't doing it. And then Christmas eventually sort of fades away as you get older, or you move out and whatnot. Although I did insist. Was it a couple of years? It was a couple of years before lockdown, wasn't it? It was a 2000 and something, or was it while I was still at Pandora? Can't remember. I insisted on getting a scale electric, so I did. It's in my mum's loft.
Yeah.
I just thought I want a toy for Christmas. So that's what we did. And a bunch of daft stuff like that. because I just thought that'd be nice. And then I wound the cat up with it. I set it on the floor. I didn't know how to make of it. It's good. It was a good laugh. But aye. What else? What else? We've got pantomimes, selection boxes, advent calendars, Christmas habits. Me brothers. It's all a bit too structured. It's that whole. I like it when it's a bit loose. Like, I know Christmas
That's the next day.
Aye. Grandad and Nana farts on the sofa.
Yeah, had too many sprouts and pigs in blankets.
People passing out. Then you would have some sort of Christmas movie. I'm disappointed that because I'm going to do a Christmas movie one. I think because we've got another couple before Christmas comes up.
Yeah.
And one of them I wouldn't mind doing the Christmas movies and having that sort of die-hard argument. It is a Christmas movie. 2 of them are at least. And there used to be that sort of that vegging out moment when you'd stuffed your face and Star Wars was on. Or Indiana Jones or something of that ilk. Not necessarily a Christmas movie, but a movie that it was always on at Christmas.
Yeah.
When you could just sit around, everybody's just... I mean, my dad was always comatose in the corner on the sofa. I think my older brother was probably off eating chocolate somewhere. Or playing with something, but... And then we'd just sit and veg after everything would just put away in the dining room. And it'd be that sort of break when we'd all have a cup of tea. My man would be doing nout. Although she'd be planning in her head all the sausage rolls and the bits and pieces she was going to put on later for tea. But it'd be there just that moment where everything sort of stops for a bit. And we'd just watch some movie we've all seen 5-6 times. But it felt just part of it. You know, one of these big movies. That doesn't happen anymore. In fact, I don't even think these things are on at Christmas anymore. It's usually some Disney Pixar thing, or didn't it get taken over by some of those Aardvark productions? You know, the animated The Wrong Trousers and Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah, I think the hosting companies keep them for themselves, don't they? And BBC and ITV are limited to what they can show.
Why? That didn't even cross my mind. You're right, all these streaming platforms, they've swept them all up and put them on pay-per-view, haven't they?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. It's a good point.
Well, if you think about it, you know, I know we need to close off, but you could actually structure your day as you want it now in terms of TV. You could create your own tradition.
There is that. You're right, there is
what
that.
You want when you want it.
You could open up one of the apps and you could.
Yeah, start your morning with whatever movie, you know, record the King's Speech and
No, I'm not allowed to do that in the morning. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what's in the morning?
Right.
And Andre Rieu, you know, the violinist guy who usually has this big orchestra behind him. So it's usually one of them, or Rod Stewart's Christmas, or sort of one of those sorts of things. So, and my dad won't turn it over, or if we start turning it over, he leaves the room. But then my mum's like, I want to put this on, and then we've got some Christmas concert or some musical something on. I'm not watching this. So I've just started turning up later. Not watching that. Nah. Or a Kylie Christmas. Probably tolerate that. From back in the day. Anyway, I've got one more of these things to open.
Yeah.
And then, come on now. Crack it open. What we got? It is a candy cane with balls on it. Now, if you held that up the wrong way around...
Yeah, you're getting a bit of a shock.
Aye. Baubles. So it's got a bend in it. So Let us know some of your Christmas traditions. Chuck in some likes and follows and whatnot. Follow accountants increasing on Apple there, which is nice. It's getting out and about. Same on Spotify. It's doing okay. Drop your comments, traditions, comments on some of our traditions. I'm sure you've got your own. I'd be interested to know if there's any obscure ones out there, and there's bound to be plenty of religious ones that I know nothing about. Absolutely nothing. So that'd be interesting. But next week, movies? Movies next week, likely, because we'll have movies, cracker jokes, and some other odds and ends coming up.
Yeah.
There's another one you wanted to do as well, wasn't there? So, and then Christmas week we'll likely have off, and then the week after is our anniversary and the return of Kelsey. So that should be interesting. Should be fun. So there's plenty of stuff to come up the rest of the month. But until next week, take care.